Greetings viewers, this is Martin coming back to another video. Today we are going to finish up the review for the high-end master model Zoids Geno Breaker repackaged version. Here I will fully assemble the kit, get my final thoughts on the kit, and find out if this is a kit worth getting. So with all that being said, let's get started. And here we have the fully assembled high-end master model Zoids Geno Breaker. And by first look, presentation-wise, quite menacing. I do like the way how this is very structured. Very has the I don't say evil looking per se, but definitely this is something that can be quite intimidating, I would say. But that aside, the look of it, the colors do work well with everything fully put together. It actually quite balanced it out. I was kind of surprised at first because I said in the previous video that the purple looked a little bit better, but with the amount of red that's now shown, it actually does work. So I'm kind of glad for that. But that aside, though, I will add that when I was trying to maneuver this, the X-breaker and the thrusters, the backpack, if you will, is a little bit more blocky than just the cannons that was mounted on the Genosaur. So the Genosaur was a little bit easier to maneuver. This one just a little bit more blocky just because it's definitely a lot wider. But other than that, though, not too bad. I would say not too bad at all. Now that I have the kit fully assembled, let's take a look at the articulation. So I'm just going to be very careful with this. So for the head, you can move side to side, look down, look up. The mouth can move, so can the cannon. The blade can move forward, like so. The neck can move ever so slightly. The arms, bend in the elbow, twist up the hand. The arm can rotate all around if it can. And the Zorker keeps on coming out, so I'm just going to put that aside. The legs can go all the way to the back without the S-breaker was, there we go. The legs can move all the way to the back, move forward, bend at the knee, at the ankle point. As stated in my parts video, I personally am not a fan of the connection point from the lower leg to the foot. The anchor right here, these pieces can move for extra support. The foot can move up and down, little swivel on both sides. The toes can individually move. The gun can move ever so slightly. Some pods there that can move. The leg up and down can fully extend all the way to the left and right. Bunch of nice ratchet points. The backpack can actually move side to side. And may need to do some of that. The thrusters can move all the way up. I do apologize if it's kind of hard to maneuver all this, but this is a big boy. This is a pretty big kit when it's fully assembled. A little blocky, so I'm just trying to be careful with it. The X breaker can extend. Did not mean to do that. I'm just gonna put it there for now. Can rotate. The claws can extend like so. That can slide, and the X breaker can rotate as well. And that is it for articulation. And now for some side-by-side comparisons. Here's the Geno Breaker beside the high-end master model Blade Liger. Little rivalry for those who've seen Zoids Cow Century and Zoids Garden Forest. Here's beside Master Grade Barbatos. So for those who are familiar with Gunpla, this is, I would say, an average Master Grade size. So you can really see just how big and bulky the Geno Breaker is. And here is beside its predecessor, the Genosaur. So definitely a not just a difference in the color, but accessories as well. Let's get a side here. So yep. Basically, same parts, just different colors, as I mentioned many times before. And lastly, here's a Geno Breaker beside the Berserk Fury, or Berserk Fuhrer. So definitely a difference here on this one. Wouldn't give it I'll give the high to the Geno Breaker, but then again, you know, if I would have had the X Breakers established and expanded, then I'm sure it would be a little bit wider than a Berserk Fuhrer, but definitely some big differences here. I would say I probably like the Berserk Fuhrer's legs better than the Geno Breaker, but I definitely like the Geno Breaker's arms or its claws are a lot better than the Berserk Furies. But I'll say all in all, they're both good and I wouldn't say bad, but just different in their own ways. I want to take this time to properly show just how the charged particle cannon is established. So for starters, whenever the Geno Breaker were to get ready, let me just get, there we go. These flaps open up and these anchors are pushed down. Get on that side too. I'm just going to move that to the side. This thing is just a little bit finicky. And the tail. Each one of these open up. Well, I'll get that later, but you get the gist about how the tail opens up. And the mouth opens like so. But this is roughly just how it is. And of course, after adjusting the legs a little bit, you get something like this. So this is just the rough idea, just when it gets ready for its main weapon, the charged particle cannon that fires out of its mouth. It just collects these small particles actually. It just gets ready for it, so the anchors behind the heel just stabilizes the Zoid, which is no kickback. The tails, basically, you can think of it as like vents to release some steam. And again, the anchors behind the heels just helps with the kickback with the recoil. But yeah, was it not too bad? Not too bad. One thing I want to add is that this kit, just like the predecessor, the Genosaur, also comes with a connection piece to attach to an action base. So with this piece, you can see something like this. So this is an action base 1, so for anyone who's interested, action base 1 should work properly just fine with this. I will say probably the size of it, since this is, I would say, a little bit bigger due to its backpack than the Genosaur, so there might be some weight issues, but it is possible to get the Geno Breaker on a action base. But still, though, even with that, there are some possible positions and poses you can definitely put the Geno Breaker in. Just be very careful. I would say this is one girthy size Zoid kit, I would say. Not the biggest one, but definitely has some weight to it. So just be careful, but it's definitely not impossible. And now for the main part of this video, my final thoughts, where I decide I will mention the good, the bad, everything else in between, and if this is a kit worth getting. So let's start off with the good. The good is the mold. Now that's actually a good thing, because that way, in case you have built the Genosaur before, you know what you get yourself into. So made the same pieces, same sizes, of course, just different color. So to me, that's actually a plus. Second is with the X-Breakers, with the new backpack, there are some more poses you can do with this kit than the Genosaur. The Genosaur, you can only change the direction of its main cannons on its back, only in one direction at a time. You can, but that's about it. Whereas this, the X breakers, the claws, if you will, has some good range of motion. They're both very articulate, so definitely you can maneuver them how you see fit. Next is some poses actually. So just like the Genosaur, they have some same movements too, same articulation in the legs, the tail, the arms, and the head. So you definitely can bring some poses with that. So that is a good thing as well. Now time for the bad. The bad is because of the backpack, this is definitely a lot more blocky, so it's just a little bit more heavier. So it's actually harder to put it on a action base, as I stated just a little bit ago. So just be careful of that. Not saying it's impossible, just it's kind of delicate. Next thing is because of the backpack, I feel like some of the poses are a little bit limited. I did mention that the good thing is they are the same poses, but what I mean by that is this same poses as the Genosaur, so that's a good thing. But the bad thing is because of the backpack, there may be some limitations. Only mainly because it just seems a little bit blocky. What I mean by that is it's just like it's a good. I wouldn't say it's a brick, but it's a good chunk. There's some weight to it. Another thing is some pieces tend to fall off, and that comes and goes with the just building kits entirely. But the chest piece that has a pilot and a Zoid core just keeps on falling off, and it was a little bit aggravating. Other pieces that tend to fall off too. There was some pieces on the kneecap that fell off. There's some pieces that was part of the leg that fell off. That I decided to just put rubber cement on it, so that way they won't fall off again. So there's that, and I will add to it to a second part to that is because of those pieces that fall off, I had to use rubber cement. The one thing about these kits is that they never ask for glue to be used, but sometimes it might be best to use it. I specifically use this one, the Tamiya extra thin cement. But that's just my take on it. You can use whichever one is that you believe is best suited. But that's just a little downside to that. But all in all, this is a little bit of an upgrade to the Genosaur. So I will give it that much. But with that being said, is this a kit worth getting? I will say this should not be your first kit. So in case you are going to get into model kits, especially if you want to get into Zoids or Gunpla, this should not be your first kit. I highly recommend high-grade Gunpla kits. They tend to be the simplest ones. It will get you started on how to cut pieces out of runners, maybe if you want to do some paint jobs, to at least get into it to see if you actually like it. But this kit here is not for beginners, definitely for advanced, just because there are some small pieces and it can be a little bit delicate here and there. Price-wise, though, I would say this is standard, definitely above average, but not the most expensive Zoid you can purchase. So that is also to consider as well. But this does look good on your shelf, I would say that much. If you are a fan of Zoids, and especially Zoids Chaos Sentry or Guardian Force, then you definitely like the Geno Breaker that the Raven piloted. So I would say that is a good point to think about in case you want to purchase this kit. But I will say there are definitely some better Zoid kits out there than this one. I hate to bring this kit down, but I wouldn't say it's the worst. For a collection piece, yes. For easy build, definitely not. As the first one, no. But for fan-wise, yes. So take that as you will. Thank you all for watching. This has been a kit that I've been wanting to review for quite some time now, a kit that was in my backlog. So I'm very happy that I got time to build it and experience it. So I'm very happy with that. I'm also very happy that I'm having the time to review it too. So this has definitely been something I've been waiting to see. I hope you all like it. I hope this series of videos have been helping you decide if this kit that you want to purchase, and hopefully some of this stuff that I explain help you with a few tips in case this is a hobby you want to pursue. But with that being said, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more video updates. My social links are down below. There are 2 videos here. One's the most recent, which I will review each of the parts that come with this kit in its most detailed review, I would say, for each part. And one here that is actually a playlist for this kit. So with all that being said, thank you again, and until next time, keep on building.